going on, guys? Multiverse Corrupt here with yet another action figure review video, and today we're having a look at Predator 2's Ultimate Shaman Predator from NECA Toys. Starting off this video, guys, we are of course taking a look at the NECA Toys packaging, and I just have to say this has got to be my favorite concept art of the Predator, or one of the Yautja, if you will, Shaman Predator, standing in front of the fiery background with the different variations of skulls all around him, from the xenomorph to a human in his hand and these other unknown species. Have Predator 2 down here at the bottom with the Ultimate Shaman Predator's name, and it does of course come with this little door here to see the Shaman Predator in all of his glory on the inside of the package, with a beautiful image of him holding a human skull and his little staff that he comes with, and he just looks amazing. Flipping over here to this side, guys, we see it says Predator 2, and over here on the back is the more images of the figure itself, with of course the headshots of other figures by NECA Toys. And I promise you guys, I'm going to get every last one of them. Flipping over to this side, guys, not really much going on other than Predator 2 again and 30th anniversary. Nothing really going on at the top other than his name and information again. And then down here at the bottom is the barcode for you barcode guys. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and rip the Shaman Predator out of his packaging and take a closer look. Shaman Predator. One of the oldest living predators, Shaman is no stranger to Earth. In the mid-19th century North America, he hunted the strongest warriors of the indigenous human tribes with only primitive handmade weapons. The mysterious skull-faced apparition they saw became known in some Native American folklore as Wei Chung, or man-eating demon, because he would devour his prey to absorb their spirit and strength, and fashion their bones into new weapons for the next kill. Shaman became an apprentice of the ancient Yautja mystical beliefs, and his dark presence and obsession with the macabre was disturbing even to other Yautja. But in his later years, he found his place as a spiritual leader with the lost tribe, by which time he developed seemingly clairvoyant abilities, helping to guide and advise the younger hunters. So right here, guys, is Shaman Predator out of his packaging, standing straight up and down on the rotating turntable. And I think from my first-hand impressions, he looks freaking amazing. This right here is hands down one of the best works from NECA Toys making a Predator figure. The Shaman is absolutely beautiful. I love how different he looks compared to the other Predators that I have from NECA Toys. And we'll get some of them out here to where you guys can see the differences. But I really do love this skull mask. And when we get into the detail, you'll be able to see through the eye holes, it is just a skull. You can still see his eyes. He has no visor, no lens. It is just freaking beautiful. And when we take the poncho he has on, I know people have been calling it, you know, his cloth or his cloak. To me, it's kind of a poncho. I mean, it's straight out of a Western almost, it looks like. So I'm just going to keep calling it a poncho for this video, but I think he looks freaking amazing. When we take off the poncho, you will see all of the work that has been put into this guy here. He is the standard body mold for the NECA Toys figures, but they did add a little extra around his waist area in terms of his pouches. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and get the Shaman Predator off of the rotating turntable and take a closer look at the accessories that he came with. In terms of accessories, guys, the Shaman Predator actually doesn't come with as much as everybody else, but he still has his own little arsenal here. Starting off though, guys, I did want to start with the poncho itself. It is absolutely beautiful. I love getting an actual fabric material when it comes to having something to drape over him. And if you want to pose it up like it's blowing in the wind, or he's squatting down and you want it to conform correctly, it does of course come with a bendy wire on the inside, easy to bend and easy to fix. You don't have to worry about those little janks in the middle or creases in the middle that's just throwing it off. Just an easy, simple fix, and it is beautiful. Just like an easy thin layer. If I pull them apart, you can kind of see all the way through it, but it's not going to really tear. It is a work of art. It is beautifully done, and I also love the tattering going on at the bottom. Starting off with the head sculpt, guys, we are of course looking at the masked version first, and as you can tell, this skull looks freaking amazing, and you can see his eyes inside the mask, and he looks fantastic. NECA did an amazing job on this head sculpt, and I'm so glad we've got something different going for the Predators. That way they're not all the same, wearing the same silver masks. It looks freaking different, it looks original, and it just looks fantastic. Going over here to his alternate head sculpt, guys, I probably won't be using this one as much because it is just the standard Predator head, but he still looks freaking awesome. And I also love this one has a semi-opened mouth. His mouth is open, but his mandibles are not. They're only halfway opened, but he still looks freaking awesome. I really do love it. It is a different variation and looks super duper fantastic. Going ahead and move down, guys, we're going to take a look at his Shaman staff now. And as you can tell here, guys, it is just his replacement for his wrist blades, because those are the blades that go over the Predator's wrists, and it looks amazing. I will say be very, very careful with this because it's not as, I don't want to use the word sturdy because we've seen the Predator's staffs break before, but this one is a real thin piece of plastic. It gives you a little bit more play in terms of the other combi sticks that we have seen, but this one here I would be very careful with because you don't want to snap it and bend it too far because it will snap completely in half. And then you are out of a Shaman staff, but this one does look beautiful. And I also love the low-hanging bones that they have going on here, and it just adds that extra oomph of detail. Go ahead and move that off to the side. Go over here and look at his little battle axe he has going on here, his little hatchet. And I will say this is a bit of a design flaw for me. It looks like he's kind of toughened it up with a wrap here. But if this is somebody's spine, I still imagine over time of swinging it and hacking and slashing all the way throughout the jungle, it's going to give way over time. And the spine is eventually going to do what a spine does and just kill over and side to side. Then you got to replace your axe. So I will say, in the long run, this is a bit of a design flaw, but it still looks freaking awesome. Look at that. It is literally a hatchet made out of someone's freaking skull and spine. That is just beautiful. Going over here now, guys, his next weapon is a bloodied dagger that he has made. And it looks like he's got kind of like a little bit of a bone grip going on here. And it looks freaking amazing. Not really too much detail going on. Of course, it's detailed all the way throughout his handle, but not so much within the blade, but it still just looks amazing. Going down here now, guys, we see that he does of course come with two smart discs that we have seen time and time again, one closed and one open. You got one ready to throw and one for the close quarters combat, and of course all of the technical advancements that the Predator species has compared to the human race. Next up, guys, for his accessories, we do see that he comes with a human skull, which is also bloodied. And at first in the package, I thought these two would have gone together. Maybe have like a little hole here where you can stick in the dagger and it just sits in place. But unfortunately, that is not the case. This is just kind of a pre-cleaned human skull that he has brought in to, I guess, add to the collection. But it still looks freaking amazing. Just get it up close and personal. That is a beautifully detailed skull with these slabs of blood over it. And I'm actually glad that we don't see the paint strips within it. We saw that it was kind of just drizzled on there and let it do what it needs to do. Last but not least, guys, he does, of course, come with interchangeable hands. And he does, of course, come with his two flat palming hands. He comes with his little smart disc holding hand and then two grippy hands as well. For what I like to say is for his, obviously his battle axe, but over here, you can use it for the smart disc. Go ahead and focus there. You can use it for the smart disc and even to hold this really thin staff here. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the accessories and zoom into the figure himself to take a closer look at the detail. When it comes to the Predator's detail, guys, the Shaman Predator looks freaking amazing. NECA Toys really did knock this one out of the park, but I have yet to see one that I didn't really love. One thing I do want to point out, though, before we jump into the rest of the detail, guys, is the paint pattern. I love the white and black paint pattern that they gave him. It's kind of made me think of cookies and cream a little bit, but that face is really throwing me off. Wouldn't want to find that in my bowl of ice cream. But he still looks freaking amazing. I just love the paint pattern and all of the design all throughout his body. Now, I will say when it also comes to paint, I feel like we got kind of gypped out unless they kind of went with a gray route. But he's not shaded for his black mesh all the way throughout his body. The black netting that we know the Predator's for. And if I bring Scout Predator in from over here, there you go. You can see they painted that one, but they didn't paint over this one. So maybe it's just a different color of mesh, but I seriously doubt it because we've only ever seen him with the black fishnets. But looking at his face detail, guys, this face, I absolutely love this face. It looks freaking amazing. And of course, we already saw how great the masked version was, and I still am definitely going to be posing him up with this one based off of how different it really does look. Going down here to his chest now, guys, and I guess the shoulder pauldrons as well. I like the little necklace he has here, and it is a loose plastic, but you don't have to worry about snapping it off because it is on there very, very secure, wrapped around his neck, and just looks overall fantastic. I like the little shoulder piece here. Mine's like super loose and just easily folds off of his shoulder. So if you guys already have the Shaman Predator, let me know if yours is like that as well. But mine is just really easy to just bend back like this and it just slingshots back up. I feel like everybody else's video that I've seen of this guy isn't really like that. So I don't know if I just got like a bum shoulder pad. But let me know down in the comments if you have this guy, if yours is like that as well. Going down here to his waist area, guys, now this is where he kind of separates from all the other Predators that we have seen. If I bring his arms up, that way you can see all the way around. He comes with these extra pouches. You're able to see his smart disk here, but you're not able to store the smart disk in that area on this one. Unfortunately, they closed up that little hole there. So I don't know if I'll be able to take like a small little knife and like a slit to where my smart disk will just slide up in there to store. Because me personally, I hate having the extra accessories and not being able to store them on a hunter like this, who is supposed to have everything in his arsenal on his body at one time. Just a little bit of a bummer. Flip it over to the back now, guys. As you can see, I guess they did paint it a gray. I've never really looked at his back over here, but we do see that they painted it gray back here over the other coloration of the black in his skin. So I guess it is supposed to be a gray fishnet, which is very interesting. We never ever really see that when it comes to the Yautja. With all that said, though, guys, I think that's going to be it for the detail. So let's go ahead and zoom out and take a closer look at the size, articulation, and some size comparison. When it comes to how tall the Predator stands, guys, the Shaman Predator does stand at about 8 inches tall, almost 8 1/4 it looks like. I'll just call him the standard 8 inches. So he is a decent size Yautja. Now, when it comes to the articulation, guys, let's go ahead and move him closer to the camera. Starting off with his head articulation, his head does articulate up very, very well. Nothing back here getting in the way, not a plasma cast or anything like that, because he does not come with one. So his head can look up as far as it can go. It looks down all the way about that far. He does get some good head swivel in there as well. And he does, of course, get some beautiful head tilt. When it comes to his arm articulation, his arms do articulate up about that far. He's kind of got like a little shoulder pad here in the way. So if you just lift that up, actually, you know what? Since this one's already loose, let's just lift this side up. So he does get some good arm articulation as well. His arms do rotate all the way around. Bicep swivel, double hinged elbows, and his hands are interchangeable, so they do, of course, hinge down, they hinge up, they rotate all the way around. Now, when it comes to this Predator, guys, the Shaman gets some decent ab crunch, some ab articulation, so he does actually get used, and his waist is on a swivel as well. His leg does kick forward about that far and kicks back about that far, so a little bit of nothing there, but you can get him in some good walking poses from what it looks like here. Double hinged knees, and his ankles do, of course, articulate down. They articulate up. He unfortunately does not have toe articulation, but he does have that beautiful ankle pivot. Starting off the size comparison, guys, here we have the Shaman Predator next to the NECA Toys Scout Predator and the NECA Toys Last Ronin Unarmored Edition Ninja Turtle, and they do scale together beautifully, especially these two. These two look absolutely perfect side by side. Next up, guys, we have Shaman Predator standing up next to McFarlane Toys Reverse Flash, and they do also scale together beautifully. This perfectly works for me. And last but not least, guys, we have Marvel Legends Deadpool from the 2016 film Deadpool, and I'll leave it up to you guys if this works or not. Me personally, if I wanted my Yaoja to be towering monsters, then this would definitely work. Alrighty, guys, and there you have it. Another action figure review video in the books on my channel for you guys to enjoy. And I do want to say, guys, if you hear jets flying around in the background, that's all that is. Just a bunch of jets flying over my house for my outro. When it comes to my review on the Shaman Predator, guys, I'm going to have to give him a solid 10 out of 10. You know what? Let's break the scale today. Let's give the Shaman Predator a perfect 11 out of 10. This figure is absolutely beautiful. The only thing I would have changed is to make this pouch accessible for his smart disc, but with the design that they gave it down there, it kind of looks like a smart disc is already stored away, so it doesn't really hurt the figure that much. With all that said though, guys, if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit like and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Later.